Hi guys, Steph here and welcome back to the channel. And today we're doing something a little bit different. I have a lot to say about this week's full moon, and I didn't want to overload the beginning of the meditation that goes along with this video that you guys so lovingly show up to my channel every month for. So instead, I have this month's meditation, full moon meditation, linked down below in the description box for you to listen to after we dive into and better understand the energies of this June full moon. I love that it rhymes, June full moon. So, to interpret this moon, I'm using the true sidereal astrological system. And I'm also using an elemental-based philosophy, which is personal to me. Now, sidereal astrology uses the true size of the constellations in the sky, which aren't all equal because some are much larger than others. And most astrological guidance in the Western world uses a system called tropical astrology. But this is not using the actual constellations in the sky, it is based on the seasons. Roughly 2,000 years ago, the constellations in the sky matched with the seasons. And this is the origin of Western tropical astrology. However, over time, the stars have moved slowly, changing locations relative to the Earth's seasons. And today there is a difference of up to 2 zodiac signs between the mainstream system, the Western system, and the actual constellations that we see in the sky today. So thanks to technology, sidereal is gaining widespread adoption because it's grounded in what is actually currently happening in the sky, not what was happening 2,000 years ago. So an example of this is that mainstream astrology would say that someone's sun sign is Gemini, which is me. However, if you looked at the actual sky at the time of the birth, or my birth, you will see that the sun was in the constellation of Taurus. And when I first found out this information, I was a little bit like, oh, I don't like hearing that. But don't worry if you strongly identify with your mainstream sun star sign, and it's different from what you discover to be your true sidereal sign, because there's a high probability that one of your personality planets like Mercury or Venus are in that sign or your star sign at the time of your birth. And you can find out more about this by booking a sidereal natal chart reading with me if you're drawn to this idea and it intrigues you. Like I said at the beginning, my approach to astrology is based on the elements and how these comprise in your birth chart to make up the individual expression that is you. And if you want to find this out for yourself and dive into it, there will be a link in the description box to a live sky website where you can check the actual position of the moon in real time. Like you can check it today, see where it's tomorrow, see where it's the next day. Knowing all of this, let us now move on to my interpretation, which is the juicy part, which is why we're here. And this month's full moon blooms first in the constellation of Ophiuchus before it orbits into Sagittarius the very next day. Now, Ophiuchus, it's all about healing through harmonizing the physical and instinctual natures. Now, there's very little information on Ophiuchus because it's not traditionally a horoscope sign. But the moon does travel through this constellation and it's part of the ecliptic path. It's actually quite a big constellation, so the moon stays there for a while and the planets stay there for a while. In Greek mythology, Ophiuchus was the god of medicine. And one day he actually killed a snake, but another snake appeared and healed his friend with the medicine in plants. And Ophiuchus saw this and he learned how to use plants to cure people. And he went about cultivating varieties of plants for this very reason. Ophiuchus eventually became known as the healer and the light bearer of our solar system. Now, Sagittarius, which we're more familiar with, is a fire sign. And it's all about exploring life purpose with adventure and a somewhat more mystical approach to life. Sagittarius brings in that free-spirited energy from the more cocoon-like nature of Ophiuchus. So we can say that it's a kind of a cocoon to butterfly transformation this moon cycle. And healing and transformation is a major theme into this full moon. But this is not the type of healing that we so commonly associate with rest and rejuvenation and going within. This type of healing is fiery and it comes from action and movement. This is because both signs have the element of fire as its primary energy force motivating it. So don't expect to cocoon yourself too much in this moon cycle. It's about opening up and moving and taking real action. And I will say that the element of Fucus isn't officially categorized, but there's a lot of people that interpret it as a fire sign. So with this full moon moving through 2 fiery signs, we are tuning to a method of perception that is full of strength and enthusiasm and vitality. And because of this, if these traits are overexpressed, we're going to lean towards impatience or burnout and even sometimes bluntness that errs on the side of meanness. So just be aware of that in the next week or two. Do not put too much fuel on the fire, so to speak, over the coming moon cycle because you're not going to need it. Really streamline your spiritual practices, streamline your to-dos and your commitments so they represent only that which is vital or brings joy into your life. Ophiuchus and Sagittarius together are saying, do not be afraid to let go. Other things in your life will not be forgotten or lose value. And in fact, you're going to come back to them in time with renewed devotion, insight, and even experience. So just streamline for the next 2 weeks. That's the major message here. Take some time after the meditation and this video to reflect on what commitments you are guided to most strongly over the next 2 weeks, particularly anything that needs to come to a completion as the moon wanes from full back into new. And this part of the moon phase is known as a potent time to type any loose ends and kind of edit and finalize, so to speak. You may be only focused on 1 or 2 things over the next 2 weeks. And when you do this, you are creating space to go deep and stand for your highest values in your work rather than being part of the herd of superficiality. Fire elements teach us that there's power in focusing. When you do, you get down into the bones of everything in your life. And that's where pleasure is. And that's where you find joy and renewal. And be sure to light beautiful candles in your home to welcoming the consciousness of fire over the next few weeks. So, knowing all of this, let us move on now to the full moon meditation, which has been designed to attune your consciousness with that of this fiery full moon. Leave any questions you have down below and don't forget to like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. And especially do this if you found value or interest in the video, and then I'll know to make more. And I'll see you in the meditation, guys. Bye.